Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. There is wall-to-wall coverage around the world on the events of the last few hours. As you all know by now, the prediction that I made last week, a terribly hard prediction for me to make. And a rough week for me. Really it was. Now you understand how I felt in that moment. But I moved through it as you can move through it now. I started to return to the facts. I started to look for those good news sources that I am getting around to doing a blog post on my website, but give me some time. Last week I battled yet another chest infection and asthma flare-up before I had even done those difficult readings, and so it was doubly hard to make those predictions. However, it was a prediction that came from the heart. Normally my predictions come from literally like the subconscious reservoir, if I can just put it like that, which is somehow timeless. But the Biden prediction that he would step down, it involved my heart as well, and that made me sad in the moment. However, the next day I came back, and as the candidates were not chosen yet, I phrased the question: can Biden win if he stays in? The answer was yes. Can Harris win if she's the presidential nomination, the candidate? Yes, she can. And then the final question was: will Democrats win in 2024 election? Will they be in power in 2025? The cards could not be more clear. It was a resounding yes, they will be in power in 2025. And so some of the process that I went through last week was from a little bit of denial and seeking to blame, and I apologized for that in that next video. Please step away from that blame game. Understand that President Biden will be revered in history. You already know that. He has endorsed his own vice president. He did that a long time ago when he chose her as his partner. She will win the nomination. That's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it is about uniting, because there are a lot of scared people. We're scared here in Australia. Imagine if the dictator were to get in. He already interfered in Australian affairs last time he was in with Scott Morrison. We have an election coming up, and I could see very clearly that if he were the president, he would interfere in our elections. God knows where else he would interfere. I watched a young nurse on YouTube, a male nurse, and he said, so many people are so frightened. But I'm here to say that you will move through that. You will. And you will get behind and unite behind Kamala Harris, because she will be. I'll pull some cards, but I already know because I did it last week. I thought there's not much point in me coming on this week. I did the predictions last week before they happened. She will be the candidate. There will be probably some argy-bargy. There are self-interests at play, and you've already seen some of those. Did they drive Biden out? Did the money drive Biden out? I don't think anybody drove him out. He made the decision to go. And it wasn't just one reason that you were seeing last week in what you would perceive as defections, people like Sherrod Brown from Ohio in a tough race coming forward. Some of this was because they were doing their own internal polling and listening to their constituents. and their constituents were frightened and saying, we don't think he can win. And so, we want another candidate. That mirrored the Associated Press and Chicago University poll, a not-for-profit Associated Press. Get in, subscribe to their newsletter. There's a tip straight away. Bring it through your emails of a morning. You might not like every story they do, but I tell you what, they do it with journalism. They do it by presenting the facts. And so I see very little bias in Associated Press. And being a not-for-profit, they're not up for sale, are they? They're not a corporate. So they combined with Chicago University to do that damning poll that you saw come out in the last few weeks. And of course, the bottom line was 57% of Democrats wanted another candidate. That poll wasn't rigged. It wasn't rigged. And so that spooked people as well. Why has this happened? Why were they spooked? It is concern and worry over the health of President Biden. That debate, performance, and subsequent. And we can argue till the cows come home about that. That is in hindsight. Could President Biden have won? Yes. However, it might have cost the Democrats the Senate or the House or both, because the individual members of Congress and senators were picking up from their constituents the information, the data, which is what Pelosi presented. There's been a lot of talk about writing Katie Porter in with Adam Schiff and not voting for Sherrod Brown or any of the others that came out. That is just crazy talk, because what you will do is most certainly throw away the opportunity to hold both the Senate and the House. And you can do that. I can tell you can do that, because I've looked at it before. The Senate is held. So don't throw away your vote. Wait for the next primary season and then primary them out if that's how you want to do it, but don't throw it away this time. I've read on the Senate before. I think it is held. The House is still in play. So it all goes back to how you're going to unite. And I do believe you can, for the greater good. And I'm asking you, as an Australian who's very worried about a second term like you all, and who has been very close to the battle to defeat Donald Trump for many years now. Yes, this is it's a democracy channel, right? And Trump and Vance and the GOP are anti-democracy. I think that's been proven out. When you don't accept an election result and you try and steal the election result, then you are anti-democratic. All right, let's get on with the reading today. I do want you to please don't be in denial, although that's part of the grieving process, isn't it? Please be careful in holding on to that grief, because I moved through that process last week and I am really excited about what's to come. So we're going to ask some questions today. The next time I read, we'll focus back on the MAGAs and what this might mean for them. And we'll look at things like J.D. Vance's astrology chart, which is very interesting. His penchant for not telling the truth is the signature of his chart. And he can't get away with that like Trump has. He just doesn't have that kind of charisma. So it's a good pick as far as the Democratic Party is concerned. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, coming out and, you're going to hear, can Biden even govern now? Yada, yada, yada. The proof is in the pudding. This is what President Biden's going to do. He's going to really go for it in the next 3 months. To make sure that his VP is the candidate. He's endorsed her to keep the unity up, to cement his rightful place in history. And guess what you're going to see? You're going to see Dark Brandon come out again, because he doesn't have any of the weight the world on his shoulders now, and he can have one of the a very revered place in history. So we'll ask, will Kamala Harris be the presidential candidate? Will the Dems unite behind her and her VP pick? We'll look at the VP pick later. As I said, it could be anybody from, Mark Kelly in Arizona, although I don't know that they take away from the Senate seat there. He's a very good senator. Could be any one of the governors, as I talked about, Andy Beshear, Shapiro, who knows. Newsom will also put up a fight, and he's in the play. Manchin there's stories about him maybe coming back into the Democratic Party. Well, guess where his hopes go? Down the tubes. So we'll look at the VP later on. But how does this damage the Trump campaign? How is Trump's health now? And how will Biden be remembered? They're the questions we're going to get through today. And I just ask you to one of the outcome cards when I asked, will the Dems be in power in 2025? We got the Star of Hope in the tarot, which is such a powerful card. And then the other cards were so affirming. Every time I pull on Harris, she wins. Every time I pull cards on her, she wins. So maybe it's hauling with Harris now, isn't it, rather than driving with Biden. She wins. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Don't throw your vote and the chance for the Democratic Party to take the House and the Senate and the presidency through blame and recrimination. Were there moneyed interests? Absolutely, there were. Will they prevail? No, they won't, because this is the will of the people. I can feel the energy, an uptick in the energy right now. Okay, toward optimism and hope. Okay, so it's tough. It's tough. This job is tough. Being an empath, being an intuitive. But on days like today, when I can feel the optimism and the hope, it's a good day. It's a good day. All right. All right, let's center ourselves. I just want to, by the way, my health is much better this week. I've had a little bit of a breakthrough, and I'm very pleased about that. All right, so I'm using the Rider-Waite and the Hanson-Roberts. Will the president be the candidate? Okay. Kamala Harris, please. Will she be the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party in the 2024 election? Kamala Harris, will she be? She is lifting a huge, huge rock here, and there's sunshine behind that rock. Currently, the rock is blurring the sun, and there's an anchor chain on it. So it's a heavy lift for her in terms of the weight of the moment, the weight of this point, this juncture in history. But she's lifting that rock and she is throwing it. What is happening now? Can you show me Kamala Harris? Will she be the presidential? Will Kamala Harris be the presidential candidate? What is that? Space has been cleared and there is a road through for her. Will she be the presidential candidate? Will Kamala Harris be the presidential candidate? There's the heavy lift, but it's also the ending of a cycle. Okay, she now will have this heavy lift, and then we have the beautiful Knight of Cups coming in to say Can you help me? Can you help me carry this load? Will you help me carry this load? It's an offer. Now, there's an inevitability at the foundation of the reading, and I love it because this is a very karmic card. I asked, will she be? The foundation is judgment and inevitability. And this marks a huge shift in the cycle of America. This marks a huge, huge shift. As I said, Pluto in Capricorn, regressing very momentarily this year and moving more fully after the election, I think, into Aquarius in the longer term. So this is about really huge change. In the past, we had something coming to fruition in time. The crossroads, the big decisions, something coming to fruition in time. In the sky, we've got the past. And so I want to say that the love and the respect that Biden has will be at play during this election cycle. You will see a hardening of will to get behind his candidate and to make sure there's a win. Now, there's a lot of anxiety in the here and, well, not in the here and now, in the future. There's a lot of hand-wringing, a lot of freaking out, a lot of that. I got it last week. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. Here she is, the Queen of Cups in the here and now. I'll do her chart as well. The Queen of Cups in the here and now. We get the moon in the atmosphere around. So there's a lot of volatility. I don't for one moment think that the jockeying and the jostling and the moneyed interest trying to come through to defeat her, to say she can't win, yada, yada. I'm not naive. This is politics. However, something's coming up from the surface here. We have civility and we have something being out of control. And we have the facts coming up. And there's the pathway through. A space is opening up for her. Hopes and fears. I've been left out at the victim, playing the victim card. What about my candidate? What about it? It really is time to move on from this. It'd be good if she could come. Remember, Biden's policies are half hers, and it'd be good if she can. We would look at the economic stimulation in her platform when she does release it, because it's needed. So giving and receiving help is the outcome card. It is a yes card. We move on from the 5, and this is the process that will happen in the next little while. We move on from the 5, feeling victimised, left out of the cold, unhappy about everything, to finally coming round to giving her the help that she needs. With your help, I will succeed. And there we have it, clarified by the Magician card. Manifestation. Very strong yes card. And there she is. Spirit's card, government's card, everything. Now, the World card, endings and beginnings, of course. The Page of Swords, and there she is again. The Queen of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. It's gonna be okay. It really is. There's a process. Absolutely, a process. I'm talking about a universal process, not the democratic DNC nomination process. I'm talking about there's a spiritual process for everybody to get through, because that's really where it's at, isn't it? As above, so below. All right, let me just have a sip of my dark Brandon cup, because I really do think that he will be unleashed. The Hanged Man came up a lot in my Biden readings last week, and it's all about sacrifice. What an amazing, amazing man. I don't want to talk too much about him because Okay, will the Democrats unite behind Kamala Harris and her VP pick? I wanted to say that this man, have you ever known anyone? Have you ever known anyone who has taken the crap he's taken and who willingly gives up power for the good of his country? How juxtaposed, how contrasted he is with the tin pot, despot, convicted felon, and villain. That is the other choice. Okay, will the Democratic Party unite behind her? All right. I won't worry about length today. Okay, will the Democratic Party unite behind Kamala Harris and her VP pick? She has that boulder, she's lifting it up and she's throwing it into the water, and she will say, I need your help to do this. The space has been cleared through the volatility for her to go forward. Will the Democratic Party unite behind her? There's a chasm, I have to say, there's a chasm. She's your anchor. People are climbing up out of that chasm. So it will be a little bit dark and then it'll be okay. All right, so will the Democratic Party unite behind Kamala Harris? I don't even really need to go much further. She was always... I'm not going to call her Plan B at all. You get the major and the minor manifestation cards. Does it need to be any clearer? Spirit is here. Major and minor manifestation cards. Manifestation is all about the future. All about the future. Yes, it's a crossroads. Yes, it's been a bombshell. But hey, everybody will eventually get on board. The energy is really good. You've got manifestation energy. Major and minor arcana. So, people say, well, your cards are, you're so anti-Trump. I'm not anti-Republican. I'm anti-evilness, which is what Trump is. I don't know how much clearer that can be. Porn star had to take him to court and he got convicted for election interference or campaign violations. He got found liable for rape. He got in a civil court. Fraud was proven. Massive fraud. Massive monetary charges. He, at every turn, profited from the presidency. I think about $7 million. His son-in-law that he installed in the Oval Office walked away with a $2 billion deal from the Saudis and others. He sought to overturn a free and fair election. He sent the mob to the Capitol, and we all remember those scenes. Take a moment to think of those scenes. Okay, how does this damage Trump? This is the part that I like reading on, and we'll do a lot of it. We'll look at it all in the coming weeks and months. How does this damage Donald Trump? How does this damage Donald Trump? How does this damage Donald Trump? Something's changed here. The time has changed. So we are moving very, very quickly out of that old cycle. A lot has changed and is changing. That isn't any good for Donald Trump. Okay, how does this damage, or does this damage Donald Trump's chances? Does this damage Donald Trump? In any way, he's looking old, he's looking tired, he's looking what he is. He's falling asleep at the RNC convention. Does this damage Donald Trump? Pardon me. I've just got a tickle in my throat. Something's changed, all right. Yes, we're into a new cycle. Absolutely. The Democrats' card. Well, how does this change it? It resets and starts the Democrat campaign again in a very good way. Pardon me. He's very anxious. He's very anxious about this. Now, they are saying, oh, we're going to, if Biden's not on the ballots, we're going to challenge this. Yeah, yada, 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 go for it. What a load of BS. They haven't even had their convention yet. What a load of BS. What a load of BS. Vote for the prosecutor, not the offender, is a George Conway line. Oh, a lot of division in the past. Don't underestimate the division within their party. Something coming to fruition in time. And we have wish fulfillment. Can be the smug merchant too. The King of Wands in the here and now. And the Hermit, a lot of isolation. So how this, it actually is a bad look for Trump. It's actually, there's isolation and review. Well, you know, now youth is on the ticket. He's from an old and corrupt era. Hopes and fears, well, something doesn't or ever change, and that is his abuse of power. And then we get, the Five of Cups as the outcome. I recall the psychic on Fox News that got that for Donald Trump. It's a loss for him. And then we get the truth coming out. Wow. And then we get moving forward again, speaking up. Here's the Queen of Cups. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. Here's control. Here's a new plan. Strength and the Magician and the World card. So this is, as I said before, very, very much about an ending of an old cycle. There is more truth to come out on Trump before the day is done. It's something big coming, likely to do with Epstein. I will say that. I don't think his health is much good. I think both he and Biden had the challenges of aging. Don't I know that? And then you throw in Trump's case, some fairly poor lifestyle and dietary habits, and I'm going to say addictions, and his health. He's not out of the woods with his health. Someone asked me about that. I'll read on that again. Oh, actually, that's my next question. All right, we should lead into that. See, there's something changed with the times. It's like it's already been decided how this is all going to play out. It's been decided up there. And the Democratic Party will be in power in 2025. Okay, all the other stuff about who will be the VP, who are the moneyed interests, all of that other stuff I'll read on later. But I just do want to say yet again, please be careful with the blame game. Some of these who came out were sincerely doing it in response to their own internal polling. So please don't throw away the Senate or the House because you want retribution. Biden's choice was to step away. He made the choice, and it was a health choice, by the way. At the end of the day, he and his family deserve everything, all the riches, well, not monetary riches, but all the blessings and abundance that life can bestow. Okay, so let's focus in on Trump's health for a minute. It's at the crossroads. Trump's health. Secret. I'm seeing the face of a Secret Service person. Interesting. There could well be more attempts on his life. I think that really shook him up. That he can't control his base anymore. What happens when they turn on him? Okay, so How's Trump's health? Can you show me Trump's health? Melania wanted to be 200 feet away from him. I told you that there would be a divorce there. She doesn't want to be anywhere near him. That's very obvious. His family, Jared and Ivanka, looked like they didn't want to be there. I don't know what poor old Tiffany and her husband has done to him, but he couldn't even kiss her, and that was terrible what he did to her. So, yeah. Okay, so show me Trump's health. It's at the crossroads. There are people around a table. He could actually face some blowback. There is Russia. Ooh, maybe Russia finally takes him out. And there's an anxiety here. He's also got a lot of money issues and problems with women, even within his own family. We get moderation as the foundation of the reading, moderation and healing. Well, was he changed? Absolutely not. He reverted back into the rabid person that he always is and was and will be. And people are looking for moderation and healing at this time, not instability and vengeance. Okay, so interesting. The Eight of Pentacles is in the past. His apprentice. He might rue the day that he chose J.D. Vance. And there we have it. In the sky, crowning this reading, a theme or an indicator, potential outcome, the Tower. Something coming to fruition in time. Magician card comes up again, manifestation and then insecurity, lack of money, not good cards. What's he manifesting? The Knight of Swords, truth is emerging. And then we get his overseas dealings and a loss of money. And then we get debt. So he's in debt overseas to somebody. If they think, or not even overseas, this can be the people like the Peter Thiel, etc., that I said was behind the J.D. Vance before that news came out. I didn't even know that he was connected with him. He's got enemies. Ace of Cups, news coming through, and the Star of Hope. So this is the last thing he wanted, because what he sees is something he can't fight against, and that is that. But there's something coming up for him. Not good. Probably has to do with something around money. Interesting times. Okay, so the last question I'm going to ask is, how will Biden be remembered? How will Biden be remembered? How will Biden be remembered? Actually, let me change the deck. That deck did some heavy lifting, so I'll go to the Wise Spell Tarot, because I want this to be a special reading, not cluttered with the energies of yesterday, but cluttered with the... There he is! Oh no, that's King of Wands, bravery. I'm sure he will come out. He's the King of Cups. I'm sure he will come out in this reading. Let's just take a breather for a minute. Let's just have a sip of our dark Brandon cup. I've made an investment into beating Trump as a big chunk of my life at this stage of my life and my health, and that is a huge investment for me into getting rid of Trump. I will relish the day when I can come on here and simply just do those readings that have nothing to do with Trump. Okay. Let's have a look. Trump. No, not Trump. Now I've probably got to change the deck again. No, I'm not going to. You see, Spirit always has it under control. Sorry, there's somebody be with me at this time. Okay. You don't need to worry. Spirit's in control. As if I allow and then I ask for that, Spirit's in control. Doesn't matter how I word the questions, any gaffes that I might make, anything I muddle up, at the end of the day, I allow Spirit into my life. Okay. All right. Joe Biden, President Joe Biden of the United States of America. How will Biden be remembered? Oh, yeah. Oh, they're giving him beautiful bouquets of flowers, and it's almost like, oh my God, so much love, so many flowers. It's like there's a temple and the women are just handing him the flowers. They're just, it's beautiful. He's got them there underneath his arm. How will he be remembered? And I can see in the part he's standing up and revered. He's up and revered. Well beyond the skyline of the 3D world. How will Joe Biden be remembered, please? How will Joe Biden? Lots of crowds clapping him. This is what Trump has to fight against. This is what every other would-be nominee that seeks to push Harris off. No, she won't be pushed off. Don't ask me that question. I've read she will be the candidate. It's very clear. I don't care what anybody says. I don't need to read on it again. How will Joe Biden be remembered? 8 of Pentacles. Giving the mantle to his apprentice. With great skill, he'll be remembered, great skill, and creating prosperity for Americans. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. Ironically, as the Republicans say, the economy. America has one of the best, or the best, economies in the world at this time. We're all reeling still from COVID. In Australia, we don't even have growth. It's almost level pegging. That's all right. We'll get there. The UK. I can just go on and on, but the American economy is strong. And that is how he will be remembered. The ace, so many aces, the Ace of Cups. I want to tell you a story. When I was reading on another platform, I am getting Spirit dropping down parchments and the writing coming through the parchments. And before I pulled on Biden, I got aces. It sort of illuminated through the parchment, and here we have the aces again. Absolutely, like a pearl. 7 of Cups in the past. So choices, there will always be the stories told about the way that this occurred, but it's about his choices. He clearing up the confusion and making the choice, the right choice himself. The Fool, the new start, creating. Again, I don't want to get upset during this reading, but I don't revere Joe Biden. I've disagreed with him over a lot of things, and particularly the Palestinians and what happened to them. But so I don't hold anyone up as a god or a king. But he will be well remembered as stepping up to the plate to create a new cycle. His legacy is very powerful. The Page of Swords, clarity, bringing forward the truth, the archer taking his aim. The 8 of Cups in the here and now, a lot of grieving. 9 of Swords, a lot of anxiety. That's in the present position. This is inevitably what will occur. It's okay. It's okay. The King of Swords in the hopes and fears. Look at the Archer. Remember now that the youth vote now steps on board. The Muslim vote now steps on board. We get a whole new reset, uniting. And he knew that. He knew that, particularly the young people. And there we have the King of Swords. The strategy, his planning. And the outcome card is the Two of Swords when he faced. Look at the Archer. Look at the Archer aiming true. Oh, I absolutely love. I love the tarot. When he was at the crossroads. When he faced, look at the Archer, the bow down, the Seven of Swords. When he faced even betrayal, what he would consider betrayal. And yes, betrayal from some, not all. The Four of Pentacles, when he had to make the choice to step aside, what did he do? He aimed true. And he reached the target. Cheers to Joe Biden. Celebrate him. Get behind your candidate because she can win. And come together and unite. Don't throw away your vote with blame and recrimination. Now's the time to take down Trump. Goodbye for now.